So, um, man, it's been a long last couple weeks for me. Um, I'm literally, I haven't been myself lately, and I don't know. I just haven't been myself lately, and I'll start at the beginning. Um, so a week ago, literally, I woke up in the morning to go and brush my teeth. Getting ready to take Cassie to work, my wife, and I was brushing my teeth, and all of a sudden, I felt funny. You know, my my mouth was vibrating, and from my toothbrush. Well, I went to take the toothbrush out of my mouth, and my mouth was still vibrating along with the rest of my head. And all of a sudden, I was trying. It's like everything went into slow motion. Um, I was turning my head to the right where the door was, and it was really hard for me to do. And what I was trying to do, and in my head, and I was trying to move my lips, I was trying to say, Cassie, help. And from her point of view, I was mumbling because I wasn't getting out what I wanted to say, even though in my head and my lips I was trying my best to do so. And next thing you know, um, I'm in outside on a stretcher. And granted, this is about probably 45 minutes later. Because in between of me blacking out from the time I was calling for help in my head, um, I had I fell to the floor. I blacked out. And I had a seizure. And it was probably the most scariest thing in my life because I haven't had a seizure since I was 5 years old or 6 years old, which was roughly 25, 26 years ago. I'm 30 years old now. And so supposedly, again, this is what the ambulance people told me and my wife. I had come out of my seizure, answered questions, um, and asked, told them my name, my birth date, all that. I don't remember any of that. Again, I was brushing my teeth, calling for help, and the next thing I know, I was on a stretcher in the ambulance. That's the last thing I remember waking up to. Everything in between where I'm answering questions, no clue. I have absolutely no clue, and I don't remember any of that. So it was very scary for me. And I remember waking up in the ambulance. I'm like, what's going on? What just happened? And I remember crying because I was scared because I didn't know where my wife was. I didn't know where anyone was. Um, but since last week, I have not been myself. Um, I'm very sore from falling, uh, but my shoulder has been in a state of um, it's just been really really sore. It hurts all the time. Um, I'm taking medication for my seizure twice a day. I'm I'm trying my best to stay relaxed and everything, and I just don't feel like myself lately. I just don't, and I haven't, and it's been a week now. I zone out a lot. I am thinking about how I'm feeling. Sometimes I'll feel like my I guess my head is moving, if that makes sense. Like it feels like my brain is literally moving at work sometimes. Like I'll feel a little oozy for a second, and then I'll go back to what I'm doing. Um, but the biggest thing is my shoulder. I don't know, my shoulder or arm. It's my left arm slash shoulder. That just it just throbs half of the time, and I'm always tired. I'm always tired, and I don't like it. And I do my best to remember remember who God is and that He's taking care of me. I cannot fear whatever is coming or what may come or what ifs. There is no what ifs. You know, God has my back, and I have to remember that because I'd be lying to you if I didn't say I was scared. Like, and I'm not supposed to be. God tells us not to be scared, you know, because He is my protector. He is my savior. He protects me. He looks out for me. But the way I'm feeling right now, like my body just feels completely like broken. Like my left arm slash shoulder hurts all the time. Even as I'm speaking right now, I'm trying to move it around. It hurts. Um, I'm zoning out a lot. Even right now, I feel like I'm gonna zone out anytime. Um, you know, I can't drive for 3 months now, so that puts me in at probably September 1st, 2016. It's June 7th right now, I think. Yeah, June 7th. So I have to ride the bus to work pretty much every day, which is fine. It's just gonna be kind of a process for me to get used to. Um, I'm I'm just really out of it. I have two more appointments to go through this Friday. Um, one in the morning at like 6 or 7 in the morning, where the night before. So when I get home from work on Thursday night at 8 o'clock, I can't go to bed until 3 or 4 in the morning. And that's because they're going to be doing an electrode test. They're going to be putting electrodes on my head basically to find out what my brain is doing. And part of me thinks, that's a really dangerous um, thing, because from what my doctor was telling me is that sleep deprivation is one of the causes or potential causes of why people do have seizures sometimes. It's not the complete cause, but it does not help. And the fact that they're making me stay up until 3 or 4 in the morning, um, I feel like it was defeating the purpose of me getting better. And so I got that going on in my head. That appointment's in the morning. Now later that afternoon at like 3:45, I have another appointment where they just are gonna basically go over all the tests that they did and figure out what's going on, whether or not they have to up the dosage on my seizure medication or Lord or whatever it is. Um, I don't sleep very well right now. I'm very I'm just out of it, and I don't know any other way to put it. I'm I'm so out of it. Even at work, like I'm trying to focus on what I need to do, and I'm doing a pretty good job, but I'm just not all there. And I'm in a point in my life right now where I just had this seizure, and I'm afraid of using my toothbrush because it just brings back feelings in my it brings back feelings of, am I gonna have another seizure again? So I use my toothbrush, but I don't turn it on. So I use it like a regular toothbrush. Don't use the power on it right now until I let some of this blow over. I guess would be the word. You know, on top of all this, I'm working and Going through these apartments, I have a wedding rehearsal to go to on Friday night. I have I'm gonna be in my brother's wedding Saturday afternoon, and I have this other stuff going on with my doctors, and it's a bit overwhelming right now. Um, I slept for probably 8 or 9 hours, and I felt like I slept not like nothing. I, I, I don't know if it's just because my brain is resetting and it's still trying to figure out what pattern it wants to be on or what's going on, but I do not feel myself. I woke up today at like 9:45, and I feel like that it's night already because I feel like I don't get any sleep. I don't know what it is. I don't. I mean, I literally feel like I could take a nap right now. And yeah, and it sucks. It really sucks. The only person I can talk to about how I'm feeling is my wife. Um, or people within my family. There's certain people I can't talk to about it because they just do not understand. They can't comprehend um, how I'm feeling. Um, Take it as an offense instead of just listening. I feel I just feel worn down, and I don't want people to feel sorry for me. I that's not what I want. I want people to treat me normally. I want people to treat me like everything's fine. But at the same time, on the inside, I feel a little helpless. I feel a little worn out. I feel a little, you know, I don't know. It's hard to explain, and I don't. I don't know. It's just really hard to explain. You know, my wife was in the hospital 2 days before I was. She passed a kidney stone, which sucks. And then 2 days later, I have my seizure, and I'm in the hospital for pretty much the whole morning of Tuesday. And then I come home and rest. I missed 2 days of work last week, which sucked because I gotta work. And it's just not a fun thing to go through right now. I'm very, very. Again, I guess the only way to really put it is that I'm really worn out. I'm really just tired. You know, I feel so overwhelmed with so many emotions, so many things to do. I just got done cooking for my wife, so she can eat when she gets home. Doing everything in my mind, um, everything I can to be as active as I can around the house, making sure the house is clean, making sure that dinner is cooked for my wife when she gets home. Um, I'm doing everything I can, and I feel so utterly destroyed. Um, I don't feel good. I just don't. I literally feel broken. And one thing I will say right here and right now is that when I talk about these things on here, you can listen, you can understand, you can feel any way you want. But what I talk about on here, on YouTube, typically stays on YouTube. I don't. If you want to private message me about it or want to talk about it later on, great. I don't mind. But I don't like to make it a huge thing like where it's all I'm thinking about. I come on here and I talk to whoever is listening, to whoever wants to listen, but in the end this is for myself. This isn't for anyone. This isn't to get attention. This isn't any of that. And for people that want to perceive it that way, I'm sorry, but it's not that way. Um, it never has been. I've been doing this since 2006, and I'm just so tired of that perception of people that do this in general. They don't do it for attention. They don't do it for popularity. Some people do. Some people do it for money, but I don't. And that's not painfully, that's clearly obvious, because I'm not asking for money. I'm not promoting myself. This is for me, 30, 40 years down the road. I can look back at myself and just see how I grew as a person, see what my flaws were, see the things I'm still dealing with. I mean, it's not about getting attention. It never has been. If it was about attention, I'd be on Facebook posting these videos, and I don't. I just don't do that. Because the way I communicate with people is through media in some ways. Um, you know, I'm I'm an open book, and I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of sharing my life and sharing who I am. Um, if people want to judge me on that, so be it. But I'm I don't hide myself because I'm not ashamed of who I am. I'm not ashamed of what I do in life, what my job is. I had I had a hand dealt to me, and I deal with it every day. I may not have the best job in the world. I may not make the greatest money in the world. But man, do I have a good life. I have one of the best people in the world to share my life with, and my wife. The stuff that she puts up with is, the stuff that I struggle with on by myself, and maybe some of the things that I'm not perfect with. She endures through it all, and I don't know how. Sometimes she puts up with me. Um, and I'm thankful that I have a good life. I wish I could do more. I wish I could provide more. And now that the seizure has happened, I feel even more helpless because now driving has been taken away from me, and I feel even less of a person because I'm not able to do something so simple as drive anymore, at least for 3 months. And that's hoping and praying I do not have another episode between now and then. Because if I do, that's going to be pushing my driving back even further, potentially even a year or years. So I just pray and I hope God. Uh, it's His will. It's not my will. So I just do everything in my power to stay the course and be be as strong as I can be on the inside because you know it's hard. It's hard sometimes. And I love my job. I love where I'm at now. I didn't tell you guys this yet, but I did get a promotion. Um, I'm actually working in general merchandise now, stocking and shelving and facing and putting up displays or whatever it may be. Um, so I am done with courtesy. I was done with courtesy on May 30th. It's May 30th? Yeah, May 30th. And last week was my first full week. Well, not my first full week, but it was my first week of GM. And I absolutely love it. Um, it brings a new perspective to me, gives me more experience, gives me more of a sense of responsibility. You know, people rely on me in another way now that I didn't have before, and it's really, really cool. So, um, yeah, no, my life itself is great. It's just my body, on the other hand, does not feel that way, and I literally I feel helpless in some ways. But you know, I just felt like I needed to come on here and talk again because it's been a while, and I didn't want to go this long, but obviously I had my seizure last week, and I've been trying to recover since then, and it's been hard. Because I feel like I really haven't recovered. I feel like I'm still on bed rest, even though I'm out doing things and stuff. I just feel so utterly worn out all the time, and it sucks. I go to work and well, I have to leave here in about an hour to catch the bus to downtown to transfer onto a bus to get to work, which I don't work till 4 and it's only 1:25 right now. I catch my bus at 2:25, gets me to work by 3:40, which I start work at 4 o'clock. So it's about an hour and a half of riding the bus, which is fine because It gives me time to relax and kind of get ready for work. Um, so, I'm enjoying life. I'm enjoying things in my life. I'm helping my wife out as much as I possibly can, doing the house cleaning, cooking. Um, but part of me still feels like I'm not doing something. I feel like she has to pick me up every night from work now. And, I feel like that's a burden on her now because that's something now that she has to accommodate, even though she's already being plenty accommodating by going to school full time, going to work full time. I mean, and now she has this on her plate. I just feel like a burden right now. And maybe that's why I'm so frustrated, and that's why I have such a short fuse right now, is because I feel so helpless. Even though I don't want people to treat me that way. But that's how I feel on the inside. Um, so I don't know where I was going with this video, but I just thought I'd give you guys a update because it has been a while, and you know, but this is who I am. And again, I don't apologize for it. I don't regret sharing my life with people. I do, obviously I don't share every little aspect of my life, but for the most part, I probably share about 70 to 80% of my life. And depending on how I feel that day or on the day that I'm recording, it's I'm an open book, and I have nothing to be ashamed of or to be afraid of or to be um, uh, what's the word? It's so hard for me to process things now too. I feel like it takes me 20 times longer to process something that I want to say, and I can't even think of it anymore. I'm just not afraid of sharing who I am. And for anyone that for anyone that thinks I do this for money or to get attention or whatever the case may be, I'm sorry, but that's just not the truth. Again, I said this about 10 minutes ago, but if I really wanted attention, I could easily go on Facebook and post videos all the time, but I don't. I keep my videos private to the point where if you want to go see them, you either have to know that I have uh, a YouTube account, or you have to know the website or my website on YouTube, um, and that's the way you can access it. Very few people have access to my YouTube account. Very few people even know about it. People I tell are people I trust, and people that will respect what I say on here and what I share on here as it just, again, I realize I'm in the public eye a little bit, but any person can watch this as long as I make that video available to the public. But I just don't, I'm not ashamed of who I am and the person I've become, and whatever I feel like sharing that day, I will. I will, again, keep it to a minimum in some aspects of my life. I'm not going to share every little detail, but like I said, I will do the best I can to say what I want to say without going into so much detail. all the time. So, with that being said, guys, that's just my little update. Um, I didn't really mean to go on a rant for this long, but I felt like it was something I wanted to do, and just needed to vent before I got ready for work. Hopefully, the sound is okay. Um, I think the audio is going through my headphones right now, through the microphone. I'm not quite sure, but if it is, you guys should be getting a lot better sound. But with that being said, I'll probably be back in a few days, I hope. If not, I'll see you guys when I see you. And hopefully, all you guys are doing well. And we'll see you when I see you. And thanks for watching and thanks for listening as always. Peace.